All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our free TruckLogics webinar about simplifying your trucking operations. Today we're going to talk about the multi-user access portal and how it's going to help simplify your drivers, dispatches, and deliveries. This is me, William Binkley. I'll be giving you the information today, and we will be discussing the multi-user access portal. Here's just a little overview of what we're going to be talking about. So to start off, I'm going to inform you about what the multi-user access portal is, how to use it, getting it set up, and how it's going to look for different employees. We're going to discuss different roles that are going to be available to your staff and drivers within the multi-user access portal. And we're also going to be talking about how it'll help simplify your day-to-day operations with your company. At the end, we'll have a Q&A portion where you can ask any questions that you have. Please keep in mind that this is just a general overview. So if you have any specific questions, you can always reach out to our support staff with the information that will be provided at the end of the webinar. But if you have any questions, like I said, please save it for the end and just make sure to write it down, and we will get you taken care of. So to start off, we have the question, what is multi-user access? In TruckLogics, specific accounts, the fleet accounts have what's known as multi-user access. So if you have a small, medium, or large size fleet, you will have what's known as multi-user access. This allows multiple users to have accounts that are connected to your main administrative account. And what this allows your staff to do is if you have drivers, they can track and upload expenses, documents. They can also upload check calls. And you can see where your drivers are when they're on the road. So one of the check calls, you'll have inputs such as starting trip, at the shipper or consignee, drop off complete, etc., that they can upload for you because, let's be honest, you're really busy managing your trucking company. So you want to have this so you can delegate it and let your drivers handle the work and uploading expenses and documents. And yeah. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to our test account. So you may see the screen go blank for a little bit. We're just going to do a little demonstration as to what is in the account, where to find it, how to add a user, and go over the different roles that are included in the multi-user access portal. So let me go ahead. Like I said, you might see the screen go blank for a little bit. All right. So typically when you first sign in, you'll be taken to the dashboard, which is this area right here, which shows all your day-to-day activities, such as any loads that are currently en route, dispatches and what their status is, where the drivers are at, any invoices you may have that are due, and any upcoming maintenance. You'll have all of the options up here to choose from, but to go to the users, the multi-user access portal, there's two ways you can go. In every account, there's a little gear wheel up here that'll have your general settings. From here, there's a section that says manage users. You can click here and also check the settings. And another way to access it is if you go into the top right corner. In our account, it says, hi, Christy, but in your accounts, it'll say either your name or your business name, whichever you signed up with. So it could be, hi, Todd, hi, Anna, hi, TruckLogics Shipping Company. So That'll be right here. You just click right there and click on the settings option. From here, you'll see Employee Access Portal and Manage Users. So if you click right here, this just shows you the URL to access your multi-user access portal. When you first sign up and are starting to create this, you'll have to create a URL that lets your employees access their accounts that you make for them, so they can upload whatever they need to upload and manage themselves. So for example, we have right here, as you can see, it's editable, but you'll have the portal access URL and also just a little overview on our YouTube channel that shows how to set it up. But right here, you can change it. Since this business is TruckLogics Shipping Company, you can change it to TruckLogics Shipping Company.trucklogics.com, or just even like the first letters of each word. So it could be TCS at .trucklogics.com. Whatever you find beneficial for your business, to just put your name right there and make it easy for your employees to use and access. You also have personalizations. You can upload a logo and also customize what the login screen is going to look like when you enter and create the portal. All right, so let's go back. Now, once the portal is created, you will see the URL right here where it says your users can log into their TruckLogics account using the portal URL. You'll have it right there. It'll be clickable. So when you click on it, it takes you right to the login screen. And from there, your employees can sign in using the email address that they've given to you, along with the password that you've assigned to them. And they'll be able to sign in, and their screens will look a little bit different from ours in the administrative accounts, but they'll be able to manage themselves and see everything that's been assigned to them. So as you see here, we already have a few users added, various contact informations, emails, and the different roles. You'll be able to see everybody you have entered in here and see what they are assigned to, what kind of role they have, and the limitations and capabilities that each role contains. You'll see the action column that has different buttons. So if you need to edit any information, you can click right here and change any email information, names, phone numbers, add any extensions. You can also change the password if you need to. You can enter that information there. And if you have to change any passwords, there's also a notify users button. Just make sure to click the change password to make anything official. Yeah, you'll have, as you can see, there's about 4 different roles. There's driver, dispatcher can create load, dispatcher can't create load, and office manager. So whenever you assign somebody to be a driver or add them into your address book, their information will be entered and stored. And you can either, when you go to add them into the multi-user access, you can assign, say you add Billy Bob as a driver in your address book. You can go right here, click add user, click on the driver, and this will show you everything that he is capable of doing whenever he signs into his account. So if you're going to be adding him as a driver, he'll be able to see the routing tab which shows the route that he's going to be taking to deliver his load. He'll be able to update check calls. So when he's starting his trip, when he gets the shipper, when he's picked up the load and is taking it to the consignee, he'll be able to update all that information right there. And use trip sheets. If he needs to upload any expenses, so if he gets a flat tire, if he has to refuel, he can enter in fuel expenses and other expenses that he may have while on this trip or on their trip, and upload any documents associated with the trip. If you're working with a company that has their own BOL or their own invoices that they prefer to use, they can upload images or PDFs and have it assigned to the dispatches that they're working on. Next, they can also view settlements, and they'll be able to see what they're going to be making for that dispatch. They'll be able to see how they're, what their pay type is. So if you're paying them a flat fee, if you are paying them a percentage of the load, or if you're paying them per mile, they'll be able to see that information along with what they're going to be making with each specific category. They'll be able to see the equipment related to the account, and that's in TruckZone. They'll only be able to look at it. They're not going to be able to edit, make any changes, update any information. They'll only just be able to see what's available to them. And maintenance, so if they need to upload any maintenances that were done within the truck, done on the truck, they can upload that as well. Now, this list is not editable, it is not customizable, and it is pretty much everything that's on these screens is what each role can do, and you can't take away any of these role capabilities, nor can you mix and match what you want each person to have. What's listed is what is available for the role and what they can and can't do. So moving on to dispatcher that can create load. Dispatchers pretty much can assign drivers to loads, and also with this one, they'll be able to build loads. They just won't be able to see any financial information associated with them. So they can build the load, assign the driver to a dispatch, and send emails out related to the dispatch, but not see anything in terms of financials such as invoices, what other people are going to be paid for delivering this load. They'll be able to see the address book, but not see any other dispatchers' informations, or if you're working with a factoring company, they won't be able to see that. They can see what's in TruckZone and make any changes if they have to, maintenance, and they'll be able to update any information. It's pretty much more helping with the driver if you have a dispatcher working under you. You know, not everybody does, but just to help with dispatch and load information is pretty much what the dispatcher roles assist with. And then settings, they'll be able to see these specific settings as well and make any changes with them. Moving on to dispatcher can't create load. So with this one, they're pretty much mainly just assigning the driver, but they'll be able to see similarly the same information, just not as much. For example, invoice related emails, not viewable. So still keeping that separation of the finances among the employees, and they can only see drivers and vendors, not the other information that the dispatcher who can create load can, such as staff and without staff and factoring company. Office manager is a role that I would describe as the administrative role with slight limitations. They are not going to be able to do any third-party work. So if you're using an integration such as QuickBooks Online, if you're integrated with KeepTruck and ELD, or Motive as they're now called, they will not be able to do anything with that information, but they'll be able to generate IFTA reports if you're using TruckLogics for IFTA, see all the load and dispatch information, including the financial information such as invoices and what people are going to be paid in the settlements. They'll be able to see the email logs, make any changes in the truck zone, and also see reports that TruckLogics offers, such as profit and loss, revenue by customer, etc. And again, they are not able to use and access the integrations. So if you're using DAT load board to search for loads, they will not be able to see that. And once you have selected the role for the person that you want to add, you can click next. If you've already added them into the address book, for example, as a driver, you can choose everybody who's available right here. So these are your active drivers who are not assigned to a role yet. So we'll click on William C. If you entered in any email address, phone numbers, and that information, that'll automatically populate. But if you haven't added the person, you can also go here and click this add button, and it'll prompt you to enter in some of this information to generate their account. So you can add the email address for the driver. You can put william@gmail.com. Keep it simple. Password. As you can see, the passwords do have to be case sensitive and have a number and special character. So you can make the password like truck with a capital T, 123 or exclamation point 23. And this button right here, when you select it, it'll notify the user and let them know, hey, you've got an account created. Here's your username and password. Please go ahead and log in. And it'll also email them the URL that we talked about right here, so they can access this. This URL is important because, like I said earlier, if they try to sign into the TruckLogics website, they will not see, they will get a message saying they do not have an account. Whereas if they sign in using this URL, they'll be able to see the login that is associated with your administrative account, So you might see the screen go blank. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the URL, and it'll open up another window that has the sign-in information. And I'm going to sign into one of the driver accounts and show you what that will look like. So right here, this is what your screen is going to look like for any drivers and staff members who are assigned a role. Email address, password, forgot password, if they're having any issues. And we're going to go with one of our driver accounts. And we'll sign in. So as you can see, the dashboard is a little bit different. Not as many options as the administrative account, but they can see only their active dispatches that they are assigned to, and anything they've previously worked on, and what they are currently assigned to but might not have started yet, along with any maintenance with the truck that they've been assigned. And that'll be on their dashboard. Their dispatches will have all the information, pretty much just a bigger version of active dispatches, but this will have everything they've been assigned to, worked on, and you can narrow it down with these filters up here and the specifications on the left-hand side. So you can see where they are, the trucks and trailers that they're using, and any actions. And this is just only with the desktop version. Any documents they've added, truck zone, they can see equipment and maintenances. Their version of reports is going to have only what they've been working on with the trucks and what they've been paid. And then also their driver log. If you require this, they can enter in when they've worked, when they've been on the road, when they've been off duty, etc. They'll have their settings right here, but also with their little gear wheel, they can change their password and also view their activities. So it'll show you where they've signed in, what they've done. This is only for them. They'll only be able to see what they've done. If you're in the administrative account, you'll be able to see what everybody's done. And what company they're assigned to as well. Very useful information to just let them handle the expenses and dispatches that they've been assigned to. So you can focus on expanding and adding more trucks to your fleet. So for example, if they click on a dispatch, they'll be able to go through all the load details, the routing, where they're going, start and end places, trip sheet, expenses if they need to add any, also what they're going to be getting paid. So he has a hauling fee. He's getting paid 50% of the hauling fees, $250 right there. You can see it. Any documents he needs to add, such as trip equipment, is right there. And he'll be able to see if there's any BOLs associated with it, anything like that. That will all be in the documents section. That's pretty much what the driver will see when they enter in here. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen for that and switch back to our presentation. So as you can see here, the different roles will have different buttons available to them. Drivers will have dispatches, chat, if you want to allow that, driver log where they can record, what they're doing, off duty, on duty, any documents they need to add, and also the equipment. Dispatchers will have the ability to manage any invoices right there that need to be emailed out, but they won't be able to see them. And also the freight tracking that allows you to see where the driver is located and the route that they are on. Office manager will have accounts, expenses, pretty much just seeing the income and expenses as well. Like I said, office managers can see the financial side of it, and also address book, just to see who drivers, vendors, etc. The admin will have more buttons. If you're filing your 2290, there comes with a tax calculator that you can input your information for your vehicle, and also even file with express truck tax for the form 2290. You can do that all within the admin account. Whenever you tap on dispatches, this is what you'll see. This is pretty much the standard day-to-day use. You go into the dispatches, tap on the dispatch you're working for. So we're going to go with ACC TST2. You'll be able to see the summary, route, where they're starting, where they're ending, any check calls. So obviously they already added starting trip, so they're on the way to the shipper. Anytime they need to add anything, they just have to tap on this orange button and they'll get a little menu saying add document, add check call, add an expense. You've got the fuel ups, which is for the fuel expenses, where you can put in the gallons, the amount paid. The expense is going to look a little different, but it'll have the categories, who paid it, the amount paid, and each expense is also going to have an option where you can click add additional details. When you click that, it'll say hide additional details, but if you've already tapped it, that'll allow you to upload any receipts, documents, anything that might need to be, that you would like to have connected to an expense or fuel up. The Documents tab will have the documents. So trip equipment sheet, pretty much the same thing we saw in the desktop version will be here. Any BOLs, any documents the driver has added will be right there. For for settlements, the driver will see what they have right there. They'll be able to see their pay once it's been added. This is old, so it needs to be changed, but that'll have the default payment method. So if you have any specific requirements for how they'll be paid, they'll be able to see that right there and enter in, pretty much just see what they're going to be getting paid with the load that they're taking. At this time, if you have any questions about the presentation, you can raise your hand or put it in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them. Please keep in mind that if it's something specific to your account, we have a support team dedicated to help you. But if you have any questions about anything that's been discussed, now is your time to ask away. I know this was a lot of information, but like I said, any questions that you may have at the moment, definitely go ahead and ask them, or tap the raise your hand function, and or also just put it in the chat.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
At any time, either on the app or in the software, can the driver see the financial side? I know you said it during the portal they couldn't, but can they see it on the app as well, or is it still separate?
No, any financial information for a driver, so if a person is assigned to a driver role, they will not be able to see any financial information whatsoever in terms of what your company will be getting paid for delivering a load. The only thing they will be able to see is any expenses that they have added. So if they spend $500 on fuel and they've added that into the fuel up, they'll know that they paid $500 for the fuel. And if you have generated their driver settlement for them to see, they'll be able to see what they'll be getting paid, but nothing related to any income regarding your company or anybody else's pay. Driver, staff, dispatcher, office manager, they won't be able to see any of that. Only pay related to themselves. All right. As we are coming to an end with the webinar, here's just some extra information. We have some upcoming webinars with just more information regarding TruckLogics, how to use it, and just how to make anything, pretty much just to manage your account a little easier. It'll have the dates and times. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. You can see when these are going to be happening and at what time. And remember, these are recorded. So even if you don't know or don't think you can attend one, you can always register, and we will send you the link to the video so you can still get the information that was discussed. We are on Eastern time, so just remember that'll always be, if you're living in Central or Mountain Time, Pacific Time, just make any accommodations that you may need to make if you plan on attending. But like I said, it's recorded, it'll be emailed to you, and you'll still get the information. If you still need any, if you have any account specific questions, get in touch with us. You can see our phone number right there, 704-234-6946. You can email us any questions you may have. We are located in Rock Hill. So if we're here in South Carolina. If you have any questions, if you're nearby and just want to chat, say hi, come on by and we'll be happy to help you. If you even want to have a demo, a 20 to 30 minute demo, we can set one up for you and go over any specific questions you may have about TruckLogics as well. We've got all of our social medias here. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube channel. We try to post a lot of reminders, information that may be coming up. So you'll see us posting about IFTA deadlines, 2290 season coming up for whenever you have to file your heavy vehicle use tax. So just give us a like and subscribe and interact with us. We are more than happy to help you. And thank you for joining me with this webinar. And if you have any questions, just get in touch with us, okay?